Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q3 FY22 earnings conference call of NTPC Limited, hosted by IIFL Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Harshvardhan Dole from IIFL Securities. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Margaret. Greetings, everyone. On behalf of IIFL Securities, I welcome you all for the third quarter earnings call of NTPC. To discuss the stellar performance of the NTPC group, we have today the entire senior management team of NTPC, whom I'd like to congratulate, and also like to congratulate and appreciate the board's token of paying out a handsome dividend. To discuss the numbers in detail and share the performance outlook, we have Mr. A.K. Gautam, Director Finance, Mr. Dilip Kumar Patel, Director Human Resources, Mr. Ramesh Babu V, Director Operations, Mr. Chandan Kumar Mondal, Director Commercial, Mr. Ujjwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Director Projects. Without much of a delay, I'd like to hand over the line to NTPC management, who will make the opening remarks, subsequent to which the floor can be open for Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Harsh. A very good evening to everybody. I, A.K. Gautam, Director Finance, welcome all of you to the Q3 FY22 con call of NTPC Limited. I have with me Sri Dilip Kumar Patel, Director Human Resources, Sri Ramesh Babu V, Director Operations, Sri Chandan Kumar Mondal, Director Commercial, and Sri Ujjwal Kanti Bhattacharya, Director Projects. I have also with me the other key members of NTPC team. Company has announced the unaudited financial results for the third quarter and 9 months of FY22 today. The key performance highlights for the third quarter and 9 months ended 31st December 21 have already been disclosed on both the stock exchanges. Now briefly upon operational highlights for Q3 and 9 months of FY22. NTPC standalone gross generation in Q3 FY22 is 72.70 billion units, and in 9 months FY22 is 219.26 billion units as compared to 65.42 billion units and 193.28 billion units in the corresponding previous periods, registering an increase of 11.13% and 13.44% respectively. Gross generation of NTPC Group in Q3 FY22 is 87.92 billion units, and in 9 months FY22 is 264.70 billion units as compared to 76.53 billion units and 222.41 billion units in the corresponding previous periods, registering an increase of 14.88% and 19.01% respectively. In Q3 FY22, we have added 1,327.42 megawatt to our commercial capacity, comprising 660 megawatt at Barh, 80 megawatt solar capacity at Jetsar, 49.92 megawatt solar capacity at Fatehgarh, 37.50 megawatt floating solar capacity at Ramagundam, 250 megawatt at Barauni, and 250 megawatt at Bhartiya Rail Bijlee Company Limited. Also, after the expiry of validity of the PPA entered into with the erstwhile BSEB, the Board of Directors of NTPC has accorded approval for discontinuation of operations of Muzaffarpur Thermal Power Station, Stage 1 2 into 110 megawatt of our wholly owned subsidiary company, Kaati Bijli Utpadan Nigam Limited. With this, the commercial capacity of NTPC has become 54,302.42 megawatt on a standalone basis and 67,757.42 megawatt for the group as on 31st December 2021. NTPC Group has already commissioned 1,557.42 megawatt of RE projects under EPC mode, 2,999.58 megawatt of solar projects including ongoing projects of NTPC REL are presently under implementation. In addition, 3,115 megawatt capacity has been won through tariff-based competitive bidding. For 9-month FY22, NTPC Korba station has ranked first with PLF of 94.07% among the top 10 performing stations in the country in terms of PLF. During 9-month FY22, PLF of coal stations of NTPC was 68.95% as against the national average of 57.02%, thereby maintaining a spread of almost 12%. During the period, we have suffered losses due to grid restrictions and fuel supply. The generation loss due to grid restriction in coal-based stations was 53.52 billion units in 9-month FY22 as compared to 84.12 billion units in 9-month FY21. For the gas-based stations, the loss was 22.75 billion units in 9-month FY22 as compared to 20.25 billion units in 9-month FY21. The generation loss on account of fuel supply constraint was 6.02 billion units for 9-month FY22. Now, regarding the status of fuel supply. During the 9-month FY22, materialization of coal against ACQ was 96.20% as against 88.71% in 9-month FY21. Coal supply during 9-month FY22 was 143.42 million metric ton, comprising of 142.02 million metric ton of domestic coal and 1.40 million metric ton of imported coal. The coal supply during the corresponding previous period was 124.57 million metric ton, with 123.96 million metric ton of domestic coal and 0.61 million metric ton of imported coal. NTPC has achieved a total coal production of 9.65 million metric ton during 9-month FY22. 9-month FY21 was 7.12 million metric ton. Cumulatively, 42.03 million metric ton of coal has been excavated from Pakri Barwadih, Dulanga, Thalaipalli coal mines till 31st December 2021. Cumulative expenditure of 7,527.16 crore has been incurred on the development of coal mines till 31st December 2021. Environmental management initiative for preserving environment. Flue gas desulfurization are under various stages of implementation for 64 gigawatt of group capacity. FGD systems have already been commissioned for 1,340 megawatt capacity. FGD systems package for 60.94 gigawatt capacity are under implementation, and FGD system package for 1.45 gigawatt capacity are under various stages of tendering. Now, some update over the financial highlights. Gross sales for Q3 FY22 is 28,705.04 crore as against corresponding quarter of previous year gross sale of 24,471.07 crore, registering an increase of 17.30%. On 9-month basis, there is an increase of 14.28% in the gross sales, that is from 72,504.83 crore in 9 months FY21 to 82,860.67 crore in 9 months FY22. Total income for Q3 FY22 is 29,837.13 crore as against corresponding quarter of previous year. Total income of 25,268.56 crore, registering an increase of 18.08%. On 9-month basis, there is an increase of 14.07% in the total income, that is from 75,312.89 crore in 9 months FY21 to 85,912.38 crore in 9 months FY22. Profit before tax for Q3 FY22 is 5,409.01 crore as against 3,516.1.59 crore in the corresponding quarter of the previous year, registering an increase of 51.87%. On 9-month basis, PBT is 12,678.27 crore as against 10,126.31 crore in 9 months FY21, registering an increase of 25.20%. Profit after tax for Q3 FY22 is 4,131.99 crore as against 3,315.34 crore in the corresponding quarter of the previous year, registering an increase of 24.63%. On 9-month basis, PAT is 10,489.53 crore as against 9,290.30 crore in 9 months FY21, registering an increase of 12.91%. Total income of group for 9 months FY22 is 97,269.89 crore as against 83,859.59 crore in the corresponding period of the previous year, registering an increase of 16%. Profit after tax of the group for 9 months FY22 is 11,760.78 crore as against 10,319.91 crore in the corresponding period of the previous year, registering an increase of 13.96%. The board has declared interim dividend at the rate of 40% of the paid up share capital, that is rupees 4 per share. During the Q3 FY22, we have accounted dividend income of 628.39 crore from our subsidiaries and joint venture companies as against rupees 5 crore received during the Q3 of FY21. An update on various other financial activities. The regulated equity as on 31st December 21 was 70,452.69 crore. Now, some update about fund mobilization. NTPC has issued unsecured debentures aggregating to 1,175 crore at a yearly coupon of 6.74% on 20th December 2021 for a period of 10 years, 3 months and 25 days. Average cost of borrowing for 9 months FY22 is 5.95% as compared to 6.26% in 9 months FY21. During Q3 FY21, NTPC has signed term loan agreements of 3,000 crore and rupees 1,500 crore with HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank, respectively totaling to 4,500 crores. Now, certain update about CapEx. In 9 months FY22, we have incurred a group CapEx of 25,064.10 crore as compared to 12,983.14 crore in the previous period. NTPC Limited has awarded project of standalone fuel cell based microgrid with hydrogen production using electrolyzers at NTPC Simadri, that is in Andhra Pradesh. This will be India's first green hydrogen based energy storage project. It would be precursor to large scale hydrogen energy storage projects and would be useful for studying and developing multiple microgrids in various off-grid and strategic locations of the country. The hydrogen would be produced using the advanced 240 kilowatt solid oxide electrolyzer by taking input power from the nearby floating solar power project. This unique project configuration is designed in-house by NTPC. This unique project for India would open doors for decarbonizing the far-off regions of the country like Ladakh, Jammu Kashmir, etc. Hitherto dependent on diesel generators. The project is in line with the vision of Honorable Prime Minister for becoming carbon neutral by 2070 and making Ladakh a carbon neutral territory. NTPC and EDF France has signed an MOU to explore power sector related investment opportunities in Middle East, Europe, Africa and Asia. The MOU also envisages collaboration in the areas of R&D, efficiency improvement, consultancy, capacity building, hydrogen economy, electricity distribution, apart from joint development of power generation projects, including but not limited to solar, wind, hydro, and waste to energy projects. NTPC along with ISA signed grant agreement with Comoros and Ethiopia for implementation of solarization projects as a PMC consultant of ISA. NTPC has been supporting 19 member countries of ISA under this solarization program for last 1 year under a partnership agreement with ISA. NTPC and Indian Oil signed a memorandum of understanding to collaborate in the field of renewable energy and mutually explore opportunities for supply of low carbon RE/RTC captive power. This is the first of its kind novel initiative by two leading national energy majors of India to support the country's commitment to achieve renewable energy targets and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. An MOU for cooperation in overseas power sector was signed between NTPC and Inter-RAO Export LLC. MOU was signed for cooperation in taking up project development, capacity building, and consultancy assignment outside India. NTPC Netra signed MOU with Greater Noida Industrial Development Authority for long-term supply of 20 tons per day refuse derived fuel from Greater Noida Authority to NTPC Netra. This initiative will help Netra to demonstrate an environment-friendly technology to produce green power and chemical from RDF, and it is planned under the theme of Netra Green Campus, where the campus will have 24/7 green power from solar PV, battery storage, hydrogen, and RDF. Now I will briefly touch upon some of the NTPC group companies. The performance of our JV and subsidiaries is exemplary in 9-month FY22. Our subsidiaries have earned a profit of 1,788.04 crore in 9-month FY22 as compared to 1,042.54 crore in the corresponding period of the previous year, registering an increase of 71.51%. The share of NTPC in JV profit has increased by 73.66% from 480.50 crore in 9-month FY21 to 834.44 crore in 9-month FY22. NVVN, our trading subsidiary, transacted 17.92 billion units during the 9-month FY22 as against 12.70 billion units during 9-month FY21, registering a growth of over 41%. In an endeavor towards sustainable development, NTPC Vidyut Vyapar Nigam Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of NTPC Limited, has signed an agreement with Varanasi Nagar Nigam for setting up a waste to energy plant. The plant shall help in mitigating environmental hazards caused by solid waste and bring clean surroundings contributing towards Swachh Bharat. The plant shall be a milestone for the holy city of Varanasi towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, using the latest indigenous Make in India technology for solid waste management in the country. Varanasi Nagar Nigam has allocated about 20 acres of land for setting up the plant. NVVN has signed a similar agreement with Bhopal Municipal Corporation also. NTPC continues to win laurels and awards in various fields. Major awards received in Q3 FY22 are as follows. NTPC has received ESG India Leadership Award 2021 for playing a key role in air pollution management. The award was presented for excellent practices for reducing the monitoring air pollutant emissions. NTPC has been conferred prestigious SHRM special recognition for learning and development for the year 2021. NTPC has been honored with 7th CSR Impact Award in the wash, water, sanitation and hygiene large category for the project revival of municipal solid waste plant Karsada at the India CSR Summit. NTPC received Company with Best CSR Practice Award in 8th Asia Business Responsibility Summit organized by Asian Center for Corporate Governance and Sustainability. These were some of the highlights I wanted to share before we begin with the question and answer session. Thank you.
Margaret, can we open the floor for Q&A?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, please press star and 1 at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and congratulations on very good set of numbers. So my first question is on the adjustable profit. Is it possible to share the adjusted profit for the quarter? And in notes to accounts 3B, you mentioned 6.7 billion as prior period. Is there any amount which is also recognized in the fuel?
Yeah, regarding adjusted profit, you can contact Aditya Dar. He will be submitting separately. And regarding, you were asking about note number 3B.
3B, out of 6.7 billion of income which you recognize.
It also includes the previous year fuel of 61.81 crore in Q3 FY22.
Understood, sir. My second question is, I understand that you have roughly around 7.4 gigawatt of renewables portfolio, which includes under operation, under implementation, and the amount which you have won in the bids. But how much expect to commission over the next 3 years based on the contractual commitments at this point of time? Is it possible to share that number over the next 3 years?
Sure. I will request Mohit to answer this question, please. Mohit.
Next 3 years, contractually there is practically no commitment because generally the lead time is about 18 to 24 months only. But over the next 2 years, the broad target is to do over close to about 3.5 gigawatts. And beyond that, once we get the LOAs, we'll start working on that also.
Understood. So lastly, sir, is there any proposal to transfer the standalone renewables portfolio to NTPC Renewables Limited?
Yeah, today we made a disclosure in the board. We have decided that we will be creating a SPV under which the certain identified solar assets will be transferred, through which a monetization, we are planning to do some monetization.
Understood, sir. Thank you and all the best, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Deepika Mundra from JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for taking my question. So I just wanted, over the next 2-3 year period, guidance on capex and how much of that is likely to go towards renewables. Also, you mentioned certain projects in green hydrogen and battery storage. Are those capex commitments that will be going in from NTPC?
Yeah. Director Project may be answering this question.
See, this year we have a capex target of 23,736 crore, and we are more than 90% already. And we are sure to achieve this. Maybe we'll try to go a bit more. Next year our target is 22,500 crore, and out of which the proportion of renewable will be of the order of 40%. This is the position today.
Second portion regarding RE.
Regarding hydrogen and yeah. So regarding hydrogen, I think one of the points was mentioned earlier that we already started work on a hydrogen-based microgrid. We also intend to take up a couple of other pilot projects relating to hydrogen, green hydrogen-based mobility, and then also for green hydrogen blending. Other than that, we have already issued a tender for procurement of 3,000 megawatt hour of storage capacity, which we intend to use mainly for entering into contracts for supplying round-the-clock power to the customer. And we also intend to come out separately with capex-based battery solutions also.
Understood. And sir, can you talk a little bit about the procurement strategy for these kind of projects for battery as well as for electrolyzers for the green hydrogen project?
No, you see, as a government-owned company, all our procurement has to be through a transparent bidding process only. But what we intend to do in the case on the electrolyzer side is that we intend to come out with a medium-term partnership basis the lowest price offered by the manufacturer. So that's on the anvil. And on the battery side, like I said, we already come out with 3,000 megawatt hour bid, which will be used. And once we are able to tie that up, we'll be coming out with larger capacities also.
Right, sir. Thank you. If you can just give a capex number for these projects, it will be helpful.
These will be tied up once we have the numbers on the table, once we have the final bids with us.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Apurva Bahadur from Investec. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So any updates on the renewable business IPO or possible monetization now that we are planning to add the standalone renewable assets as well? So timelines on that.
Yeah. As already told that identified renewable assets will be transferred to SPV or a separate subsidiary company, for which we will be seeking an exemption from the Government of India regarding exemption from the capital gain tax. And as soon as that exemption is available, we will be doing, most probably this will be done in the next financial year, say by October 22.
Okay. Very useful, sir. So secondly, on this storage tender for which we have come out with recently, so can you throw some light on the economics there? So will we be doing like a back-to-back agreement? Or will it be more like we will be tying up that capacity, and as and when the opportunity comes up for RTC power, we will be bidding based on that? Also, the renewable capacity which will be used to charge this storage, will this be separate from our existing pipeline, or do we intend to use the curtailed electricity from our existing project?
Okay, I think part of that you answered yourself, because this tender for battery will be used largely for back-to-back orders only. Obviously, we cannot be sitting on this capacity. So once we have this capacity in place, people who are ready to operate, then we will be placing orders for that. Secondly, the charging power, and these are all expected to be RE-based storage solutions only. So all that RE capacity is not yet included in the pipeline and would be taken up once we enter into firm contracts for offtake.
Okay. So we had also come out with a domestic module EOI. So wanted to check what sort of interest have we received, given that there is probably going to be a module shortage, since the government will be imposing BCD on Chinese modules and domestic capacity is not yet there.
So we have received interest from practically all the module manufacturers, including the guys who have applied for the PLI scheme, practically all of them. And we intend to come out with a firm RFP maybe by the end of March.
Okay. So last question from my side, if I may, and this is on the thermal capacity addition. So any new projects have been added to the pipeline? I think there were discussions on Talcher.
Yeah. I think Ujjwal Reactor project will be giving this answer.
As we told earlier also, and we are consistent to that, we are going for higher of renewable capacity addition in our portfolio and reducing our dependence on coal per se and fossil fuel in general. But we are also going through a transition process. You know that Government of India has declared 2070 as the net zero. So we, in consultation with Ministry of Power, are now on the drawing board and creating a new paradigm. Some capacity on the thermal are going to be added. And we have already advertised an NIT for a 1320 megawatt of coal-based power project at Talcher. And you must have seen it in the newspaper already. So the process of Talcher expansion by 1320 megawatt based on coal is on.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Right, so fine. Thank you very much. I'll get back in the queue for more questions.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management will be able to address questions from all participants, we would request you to please limit your question to 2 at a time. Should you have a follow-up question, please rejoin the queue. Thank you. The next question is from the line of Subhadeep Mitra from JM Financial. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. So my question is largely with regard to the capex that you're looking at. So while I think you gave us the FY22 and the 23 numbers, any clarity on what the FY24 capex number will look like, and how that gets bifurcated between thermal as well as renewables?
Yeah.
That FY24 are being built up now. What we have frozen so far is 18921, and we'll definitely add much more. As I told, the current year is 23736. Next year we have already farmed up 22454, and for the FY24, as I told, 18291 has been farmed up, and we'll be adding much more there. We'll come back to you as we.
So within this 18291, how much would be the renewable part?
I told that for the next financial year, approximately 40% will be renewable, and going progressively forward, the renewable will be more. But since we have started adding some of the thermal capacities, I think in FY24 also the proportion of renewable will remain around 40 to 45. Then it will go up progressively very high.
Understood. Lastly, if you can also help us with the plant-wise capacity additions that you're looking at in FY23 and 24.
Okay. For FY23, that North Karanpura, Unit 1, 660 megawatt. Then Bar, Unit 2, 660 megawatt. Telangana, 1 unit of 800 megawatt, unit number 1. And then Telangana unit number 2 also of 800 megawatt. Then Durgapur, there is a small unit of 40 megawatt. Bangladesh is going to be completed both Unit 1 and 2, 1320 megawatt. And solar 1207, and we'll be adding probably more. We're on the working on that. And this is a standalone. If you look at the group, then THDC hydro pump storage at Tehri, 4 into 250 megawatt will come, 1000 megawatt. And through NREL, we'll be adding probably another 820 to 1200 megawatt more. So if I conclude it, the NTPC group, the capacity will be something between 7,300 to 8,000 megawatt. And for FY24, the total capacity on the board is 4034. And as I told that we are going to go add more and more renewable. So we'll add some more renewable capacity. As of now, it is 4034, predominantly thermal. Bar stage 1 unit number 3, 660. North Karanpura unit number 2, 660 megawatt. North Karanpura unit number 3, 660 megawatt. Patra 2 in the Jharkhand state near Ranchi, 800 megawatt first unit. Then on the THDC thermal, which is near Khurja, first unit of 660 megawatt, and THDC hydro project at Vishnugar Pipulkoti, 444 megawatt. Through NREL, we are planning 150, but definitely this 150 is have a capacity to become, in my opinion, no less than 3,000 by that time. So on the drawing board as on date, it is 4034 roughly, but likely to go around 6,000 with RE.
Thank you so much. Sorry. Sorry, sir, you were saying something.
Yeah. No. I told that beyond this we are not projecting because we are reworking on the thing. And regarding thermal, I was just answering the question of somebody a couple of minutes ago. And as we are going increasingly into renewables, but considering the transition and the transition fuel requirement, we are going for addition of some thermal power station. Talcher we have started. We are also looking at some other power projects like Chengauli, Lara, Dandipalli, etc., amounting to 5,320 megawatt. But one thing I will like to share with all of you, our beloved investors, that consistent with our approach of reaching the decarbonization process and net zero, ultimately by 2070, these thermal capacities will not be business as usual. We will be going for what we are terming as blue coal technology, but the carbon footprint we are trying to bring down as progressively lower, and possibly if we can up to the level of CCGT. But that's a tall talk. Let's see what we can do. Thank you.
And these incremental thermal additions will all be on the ROE-based mechanism?
The incremental thermal capacity will be all based on?
Yes.
ROE.
Yes.
ROE.
For sure, ROE. Yeah. Through
Okay.
PPA.
Understood. One last question, if I may sneak in. So while I think there was an earlier question on your divestment of the solar assets, just wanted to get some clarity. I think there has been a lot of news flow around the fact that you're looking at probably a strategic partner or a strategic sale happening at the renewable subsidiary level. So just wanted to understand that this exemption on capital gains for sale of certain solar assets that you mentioned, this would be separate from the strategic partner that you're looking at for the overall solar subsidiary?
No, as I mentioned earlier also, we will be transferring certain identified solar assets to the new subsidiary or a new SPV, through which we will be doing this monetization either through IPO, regular IPO, or through some strategic partner. But these transfers will be made only after we receive exemption regarding the capital gain tax from the Ministry of Finance.
Understood. Very clear. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Puneet Gulati from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Can you also talk a bit about what is the plan for the FGD completion? When can we expect all these FGDs to be commissioned, at least the ones which have been tendered out?
See, FGD, as you are probably aware, that we have already started working on 62280 megawatt of FGD all across the country, out of which 1340 have already been completed, right?
Right.
That spans 5 units. Another 129 units we are working. The Dadri Unit 5 and Unit 6 will be commissioned by June. Dadri Unit 5 is already commissioned, so to say, and we'll declare it in another 7 days' time. Jhajjar, which is at the 1 unit will be ready by, you can say, February, commission, and then progressively 4 months afterwards, 2nd and 3rd unit. These are the things which are commissioned, which are going to be commissioned in this financial year itself. And then we are also expecting the Khargone 660 megawatt in this financial year 21-22, and Uchahar 500 megawatt in this financial year itself. Then Tanda 220 megawatt, and that takes us to total of 2370 megawatt.
I think that should I give in totality the numbers?
Yeah, I think that's it. 2370. Yeah.
Yeah. The total is 62,280 megawatt, of which 1,340 has been completed. 22-23 FY we will be completing around 22,790 megawatt. 23-24 we have a target of 15,270 megawatt, and balance 22,880 megawatt we will be completing in 24-25.
Understood. This is very useful. Thank you, sir. And can you also talk a bit about what kind of EBITDA are you expecting from your renewable assets getting into 23 or FY24?
What kind of? EBITDA, it is very premature to say. Yeah, but we are expecting return on equity, what we are expecting in case of our thermal power projects. Because normally the thermal power projects, they take a minimum gestation period of 6 to 7 years. Here in case of renewable energy projects, it is say 12 to 18 months. So corresponding, we are considering the corresponding ROE in case of renewable energy projects.
On IRR basis.
Yeah.
Okay. So IRR of 13% odd is something that you would be looking at since you get 15.5% ROE.
12%, not 13%, 12% you can say. 11 to 12%.
12. Equity IRR.
Yeah.
Okay. This is very useful. My last question is, while you've been doing a lot of work on solar, there is also talk on storage. So far, what I know is there is only a 50 megawatt wind. Am I missing something, or are you deliberately not doing wind? Or is there any hurdle in doing wind?
No, can you come again? What was the question?
Not clear, your voice.
Yes. So to my knowledge, there is only 50 megawatt of wind in your portfolio so far. Have I got it wrong, or is this correct and you're deliberately trying to avoid wind, or is there a reason to avoid doing wind?
No, that number is correct, but we are not avoiding that. We already started work on another 150 megawatt, and we intend to take up wind in a major way. So there is no deliberate avoidance of any kind.
Okay. And I would presume hybrids would follow post that as well.
Yeah, so for your information, we have already won a 450 megawatt hybrid tender about 4 months ago, which was done by SECI. So we are well into that, and we are also participating now in new hybrid and wind tenders also.
That's very. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anuj Upadhyay from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity and congrats on good set of numbers, sir. So 2 questions. One is the reason for low availability during the quarter, and was there any under recovery for the quarter and the 9-month. If you can provide, it would be very helpful, sir. And secondly, I missed on the figure of NTPC share across the JV and subsidiary for 3Q and 9 months. If you can share those, it would be helpful, sir.
So, regarding first question, our Director of Operation, Mr. Ramesh Babu, will be answering this question.
See, the low availability was because we had taken the planned outage of our units. Compared to last year, it was 4.4% was the planned outage. This year we took around 7.67%. So due to COVID, whichever the units that we could not take for outage, all these units have been taken. In the last year, in the first 9 months, we did only 26 overhaulings. This year we have done already 35, another 5 overhauls are in progress. So that was the reason why there was a availability loss. But nevertheless, it's more than the required 85%. Regarding the under recovery, there has been around 650 crores is the under recovery as of now, and by the end of the year, it would come down to around 350 crores. As of now, already it is less than under 50 crores. Now it's only 590 as of today. So by end of the year, it will be around 350 crores. In this also, another around 70 crores we will be approaching the CRC because during 3 of our units have actually we had to take overhauling for a longer time due to COVID. So this will be approaching CRC for relaxation. So it would be around 350 crores would be by the end of the year.
Just to confirm, sir, sorry sir, just to confirm, you mentioned 9-month under recovery was in the range of 650 crores. Am I right, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and target is to bring it down to 350.
As we move along, the another 3 months is there. See, the DC would increase and slowly we'll be reducing the under recovery.
Okay, and for the quarter, sir, if you can quantify Q3.
But this under recovery we generally consider in the cumulative basis only. Under recovery is always considered on the cumulative basis.
Oh, fair point, sir. Yeah, on the
218 crores.
218 or 280?
Yeah, 218.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And on the JV share, sir?
Yeah. With respect to your second part, with these subsidies, they have contributed 1,788.05 crores in 9-month period, and quarter it is 814.52, and joint ventures 834.44 crores and 307.99 crores.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anupam Goswami from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
So first of all, congratulations on the good set of numbers. So my first question is on a follow-up of the previous question. You mentioned about the capacities that are likely to come up in FY23 and 24. So my question is on the CWIP amount, equivalent amount that will be transferred from CWIP to gross block on FY23 to 24.
We just can't mention right now, but you can estimate based on the which has been mentioned by Director Project regarding commissioning target. Multiply by you can identify how much CWIP will be converted into fixed assets. But right now it will be difficult to tell.
So per megawatt, can we speak about a ballpark of?
You can consider roughly multiply it by around 5 crores, around 5 crores per megawatt.
Right. Okay. And so, what is our receivables amount at the end of quarter 3?
Receivables. Trade receivables.
Trade receivables will be well within the 45 days. Right now, if you see our outstanding dues beyond due date is only approximately 4,500 crores, and more or less I think by 31st March also it will remain like that only, and total outstanding will be within the 45 days limit.
Okay. And the last question on the capacity addition on 23 and 24, how much would be brownfield and how much would be greenfield on the thermal side?
I think it will be all brownfield only. It will be all brownfield.
We have stopped going for greenfield projects. Whatever expansion will go for, these are all will be brownfield, and where we don't need to go for fresh land acquisition, we have water availability, and we have also grid connectivity available.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I'll join back now.
Thank you. We would request participants to limit your question to 2 at a time. The next question is from the line of Atul Tiwari from Citi. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot. Sir, what will be the regulatory equity at the end of third quarter?
It is 70,453 crores.
Okay, 70,430 crores in the standalone entity. And sir, you mentioned about
70453.
Okay, 70453. Okay, sir. And sir, what was the total amount of dividends received from subsidiaries and JVs in the quarter? 600 odd crore, right? I mean, I did not get that number correctly. Can you please repeat that?
It is It is October to December quarter. It is 631 crores.
And what was it last year in the same quarter?
Last year was only 7 crores.
Okay. So, sir, I mean, if I exclude the dividends from the other income of both the last year and this year, it looks like other income has come off quite meaningfully year on year. So what will be the reason for that?
There is a reduction in surcharge amount.
Okay. Okay. And so broadly speaking, I mean, if I kind of reduce the prior period sales of 600 odd crore and the dividend from subsidiaries of 600 odd crore, it looks like that the recurring PAT has declined year on year. Is that a right understanding, or is there some other one-off item which I'm missing here?
No, it has not declined. I think you are going towards the adjusted PAT numbers. I think Aditya would be giving you separate.
Okay, sir. Okay, we'll wait for that. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rahul Modi from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and big congratulations for a great set of numbers. So just a couple of questions I had. So where are we in the process of moving Nabinagar and Kanti into the standalone entity? We were looking to do that. When do we expect to conclude that?
Actually, that issue is pending in the MCA. We were thinking that this process will be completed by 31st March, but probably this will go up to June.
Okay. So my second question is, sir, in the one and the older tenders also in the renewable space, obviously there has been a significant increase in the module prices. So are we facing any delays or cost overruns on that account, or we are fairly confident that the delivery will be met on schedule and on the contracted price?
No, there are definitely delays not only because of the increase in module prices, but also on account of COVID and all. But we don't expect any price increase because mostly these are fixed price contracts. And if there is any change, that is mainly on account of change in cost.
Right. And so for the CPSU tender, what is the progress there, the 2 gigawatt that we had won?
On the CPSU tender for 2 gigawatts, we've already signed the power purchase agreements for 1,000 megawatts, and we hope to start work on that by the end of March, hopefully. And for balance capacity also, we hope to start work in another 6 months or so.
Right. So, sir, in this we are in this 2 gigawatt, we will have to procure modules locally this is under DCR?
Yes, it is under DCR. So the cells and modules have to be procured from domestic.
Okay.
Which is why the time given. Yeah, which is why the time given is also slightly longer by the government under this.
Right. Noted. And sir, what are the tenders which you are expected to see in the market? Any quantification on that in the both in renewable overall over the next 12 months?
I am not very clear what you want to know. You want the tenders which we plan to issue or the tenders
which you are expecting? Quantum of tenders which you are expecting you will be participating in the bid?
So that's very rough number. SECI says they might be coming out with tenders of close to 10 gigawatts in the next 6 months. So that's all based on information not available within NTPC.
Sure. Thank you and all the best. Very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sumit Kishore from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity and congrats on a good set of numbers. My first question is, what is the total commercial capacity which has completed 25-year PPA period currently? And how much of this capacity has seen an extension of PPA? And also, if you could clarify what is the current status on the Dadri PPA with BSES and Tata, given the news flow that we are seeing in media?
Only the total by March 22, I think around 14,000 megawatt will complete 25 years. What is the second question?
Update about Dadri regarding.
And for the 14 gigawatt, has the PPA been extended and for what duration?
No, PPA is already there. All our PPAs is 14 gigawatt. As far as we are concerned, it is only a perpetual PPA. So there is no exit clause from this PPA. It is only that government has come out with a guideline. By virtue of that guideline, DISCOM can exit from the PPA if they are following that guideline. Otherwise, there is no clause in the PPA to exit after 25 years.
Sure. On the Dadri,
on Dadri, Dadri, I think this Delhi DISCOM, they approached CERC and CERC has given order that they can exit subject to that government deallocates that power, because as far as we are concerned, this government under their sovereign power, they are allocating this power. Our PPA does not talk about any megawatt. It is only this allocation is done by Government of India. So they have challenged. One of the DISCOM, they challenged it in APTEL. So that hearing is complete. So order is expected any time. And another DISCOM went to Delhi High Court for redressal of this issue. That was rejected by Delhi High Court. So again, that DISCOM has also landed up in APTEL.
Okay. So you mentioned that for Muzaffarnagar, a couple of 110 megawatt units the board has approved for shutdown. In the next 5 years, what is expected for shutdown as far as thermal units are concerned because of obsolescence?
We have in Tanda 4 units, 110 megawatt, and in Barauni 2 units, 110 megawatt. So these are the only units which we will be considering for shutdown, but other 210 megawatt units will be running them, if required with proper R&M.
Okay. Finally, what was the late payment surcharge for Q3 and the 9-month period?
Yeah, For the 9-month period, it is 1,695 crores in the April to December 20, and corresponding current period it is 593 crores. If you go to the quarter, October to December 20 is 565 crores, and October to December 21 it is 173 crores.
Okay. Finally, one bookkeeping question. What is the addition to regulated equity base from the commissioned captive coal mine? So is there any regulated income that you are earning, on the, say, Pakri Barwadih, where the project is commissioned for some time now?
Yeah, we are earning, but I think right now, readily this figure is not available with me. You can obtain this from Mr. Aditya sir.
Regulator has allowed 14% on.
Yeah.
14% ROE. Thank you and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, due to time constraints, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Harshvardhan Dole for closing comments.
Thank you, Margaret. I'd sincerely like to thank NTPC management for explaining the results in detail and taking the Q&A. I also like to thank the management for giving us an opportunity to host the call. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending the call. So any last comments that you would like to make?
No, thank you very much, Harsh. And you people should be very happy that this time we have announced a very good dividend. And NTPC, I can only say that we will continue to perform better.
Yeah, we are on a growth path and we are showing results.
Yeah.
So market should cheer up.
Thank you. On behalf of IIFL Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.